Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for Max Effort Lower Day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, guys, in keeping with the things that I said we will be doing for this phase of training, it's going to be a lot of wide stance stuff. I did not take either one of these to a max. I took them up to just a good, solid training max, just try to get to at least 90%. I'm going to get my safety bar wide stance box squat max as high as possible. Going to be a high priority. In fact, I'm going to set a goal that off of this box height, which is below parallel, I need to get this back to at least 500 straight weight. Okay, 500 straight weight. I will be where I need to be pretty much indefinitely if I can reach that. So we're going to be doing all this wide stance stuff, just like I'm going to be doing wider grip benching. The reason I'm going to do almost exclusively wide stance for the leg work on the squat and deadlift is because I did a long phase of only close and I have to balance that back out. And I have narrow stance accessory work to make up for it, so it's not a big deal. So we did off of a below parallel box, and by wide stance on these, I'm going to the edges of the rack. My toes are on the rack. Same thing on the sumo. I'm kind of limited because I do not have an open base rack. I can't go as wide on the sumo for bands as I would like to. It'll be the same thing if I do rack pulls with them. I'm going to have the same issue. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it at the moment without a complete equipment overhaul. So again, built up to this, and it's kind of funny because I have to get used to gripping the sumo still, and my thumb got knocked completely out on the next one I do. And it's funny, so I had no thumb around the bar, and it was in my fingertips, and my grip strength is good enough that it didn't feel heavy. Like just sitting in my fingertips with my thumb knocked free, I just held it there at the lockout with no chance of losing the grip. So again, it's kind of an amusing thing. Just making a note of it. So, you know, all good. I know my grip training has gone good. Grip has gone phenomenally well. But again, those weren't super heavy. I think it's 421 plus 54 chains on the box. And that sumo was just a 535 with 45 pounds of bands, right? Not super heavy. Good, solid training maxes. Because again, I'm cutting right now, and I will bring those up. I'm going to work on bringing those numbers up. I'm probably going to do all of my maxes with different band and chain variations on those two lifts. Whereas in the benching, there's going to be more variation, right? Because that's what I need to bring up. And I'm going to probably do all my speed work the same way. If I get any hip inflammation, I'll just go to some narrower stances for the speed work. Right now, my hips felt really good after all this. Romanian deadlifts bumped the weight up a little bit. I'm just going to keep adding weight. These are coming along nice now that I've got down and I've started doing the really long range of motion, going pretty much almost to the floor. Had these easily under control. I got more than 10 reps on the last set. I think I just knocked out like at 11. So 330, I need to just keep adding weight. I'll just go up another 5 pounds. Since I do these twice a week, I'll probably add 5 pounds every workout for a bit until it starts to really get challenging. Novel training response. I never did these historically really deep. So, or at least not in many years. So we're getting a novel training response. I'm just going to ride the wave of it and just keep progressing it. And I have a feeling I'll get a good adaptive response to that just because of the new movement pattern involved. And really it's for the hamstring stretch, and it's because I need my lower back stronger. Lower back is going to take a bit of a priority right now. So are quads, and so are some other things, but the funny thing with the quads, you won't see as much of the priority on camera. I can only handle one supplemental quad exercise right now during my workouts because I'm doing so much sled dragging. In fact, while this video is rendering, I'm going to go drag my sled. So I'm going to go drag my sled while it's rendering after I finish this and then upload. So my goal right now, I am trying to drag my sled a minimum of 5 times a week. In actuality, that can be up to 7. So because I missed one the other day, I went and did 2 drag sessions in one day because the weather was too bad. It didn't allow for it. I can handle a little bit of sled dragging and a little bit of misty rain, but it was a tsunami and it would cut into my time. But ideally, I may try to drag this sled every day. I'm really not liking the balance these days on these Romanian deadlifts because my balance is so terrible. The upside, if everything is on schedule. I should have all my dumbbell stuff this week. My grip strength is strong enough. I don't think I'm going to have a problem just doing these with dumbbells. Right? I don't think I'm going to have a big problem with it. I'm used to dead hangs. Right? So even if I build up to where I can do these with 100 pounds dumbbell in each hand, that's less than I dead hang. Right? I've gotten to where my grip doesn't even give out on dead hangs. It's turned into one of my biggest grip training tools. And my grip is just getting stronger because I do so much stuff that is grip training related. It'll just add to my grip training further. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with dumbbells, just holding them for all 20 reps. And I feel like it'll give me a much faster setup, better balance. So in theory, this might be the last time I do these with this bar for a while. I didn't try to increase the weight. These were really challenging enough. They were really challenging enough. But again, got good tension there. But I feel like dumbbells are going to be a little more progressive. So I'm going to probably try to start with about the same weight. Like with what I have here, 80 pounds in each hand. See if I can get my 10s with each leg and then progressively build it up from there. I have enough dumbbell stuff coming to get my dumbbells well past 100 pounds. Right? I might need some more 10s though to hit really high, but I think with enough extra 10s, I think I can get them up to 135 per dumbbell. I don't predict me doing sets of 10 on these with anything heavier than that ever, even for maximizing hypertrophy. So I think I'll be good there. But yeah, these were a little bit of balance today on these. Again, that's my biggest problem with this movement. It works great though. It lights my quads up, and I feel the quad on both sides of it, right, on both legs as I'm doing it, because there's a different stretch involved with the one that's on the bench. So this has turned into one of my favorite quad accessories. But keep in mind, my sled drags at the quad. All right, up next we have safety bar good mornings, done super deep, pretty much the maximum range of motion you can do off of slings. So I'm doing them from a dead stop off slings. I've been slowly building the weight up on this. I'm up to today 206, which again, for my good morning strength is laughable because I have a bar that I can max 550 on. I can do over 400 pounds on this bar. But done in this manner, with that deep range of motion and off the slings, they are so hard. But again, we come back over to what am I getting out of it? Stimulus to fatigue. I am getting a ridiculous amount of back work. All of my erectors, from my neck all the way down to my lower back, is being just destroyed by these. They're being just destroyed. It is extremely effective for building this area up, right? So this is a back builder, and I'm doing it with a lightweight 206 pounds, right? That's nothing. 206, but it builds all the erectors, especially using this bar, because again, there's stress all the way up to the neck. Now, in order to use this bar the way I do neck training. It's one of the few things I do off camera. So for those curious, I do GPP off camera, I do neck extensions, and I do abs. You guys have seen me do abs now on camera. I put one up a while back. So you guys see that I do ab work, and I'm pretty strong at ab work. So it's kind of funny, that gets brought up. People are like, why are you against ab work? How strong are you? I bet you have weak abs. And then they see me do ab work. It's like, oh. It's like, no, my abs are 600-pound squat strong. You guys have seen me squat and deadlift 600-plus pounds. Should be no doubt in your mind that I have abs strong enough to do so, as I've demonstrated on camera now. But those are the things I do off camera. It's not that much stuff. And for those curious what I do for the neck extensions, I do a 55-pound plate for sets of 15 reps with a neck harness on. And that's just extensions. And again, it helps me use this bar better. But everything, the entire back, every single erector is being worked. And that's why I like this. And I'm able to do it with a lightweight. And it lights it up because I need that back building. It's a high priority for me right now. I need to bring it up. It's extremely important. All right, one of my other lifts. It took me a bit to get into my groove on this. I prescribe this to clients a lot. These first two sets are trash. They just banged my shins up. I didn't really do the lift fully correctly. And I'm like, I need to get socks on. So I went ahead and put on my deadlift socks for the third set. The third set's the only one that looks good. I mean, these others are okay, but they're not as hard as it could be. What you want to do is you want it to be a segmented movement, right? Now, these are still plenty hard, even with 155 pounds. But as a segmented movement, which you guys will see on the third set, the set where I have the socks on, which is what I'm going to do with these, it hits the adductors stupidly hard. Your adductors work so hard that they are just lit up doing these. Glutes also. The glutes and the adductors. And it's with a light weight. And on the last set, I'm struggling to get 10 reps. Like the last set was pretty much a limit set. The one with the socks on. All right, the stimulus to fatigue on this is tremendous. So again, as a sumo deadlift builder, if you need an exercise to hypertrophy the lower body in a way that carries over to your sumo deadlift and, again, to some of your box squats, this will do it. But you have to watch the set I do with the socks. That's the important one because it's the one that's done correctly, fully correctly. Again, you'll still get benefits out of doing it the wrong way like I'm doing it here. But I knew it wasn't right, but it's just my shins hurt so bad because it was banging me. And then once I got those socks on, game changer, right? Not raking my shins. And I'm using the smoothest bar I have here because I don't need knurl because it's a lightweight. I could double overhand this for years. It's not a problem. So first rep's a little bit off. Watch the second rep and forward. Come up to the knee, then stand up. My adductors and my glutes were on fire from this. All right, this will bring your sumo deadlift up. And look how light of a weight I'm using, 155 pounds. And it's all I could handle for 10. It's all I could handle. Right? There's no fatigue to recover from. 155 pounds for a lifter at my strength. A few sets of 10. You might just be throwing around the empty bar from a recovery perspective. But the muscle stimulus, again, it's very specific. Very specific. So again, as I've always told you guys, a sumo deadlift will build your conventional deadlift. You guys saw me do that before. Right? I did nothing but sumo deadlifts for quite a while. Then I came in and was hitting conventional PRs. But you did have to look at it of how do we build a sumo deadlift. Well, I've got to address the weak links. And then I'll go back to doing both. Right? Once I get the sumo up, I will go back to pulling both sumo and conventional. Right? I'll be rotating through them. But I need a bunch of wide stance work again. And the beauty of it is the other exercises I do contribute to that. They carry over. The Romanian deadlifts carry over to the wide stance stuff, even though I'm doing them as a back and hamstring exercise because they hit the adductors really hard. Right? I've gotten cramps in my adductors from RDLs before. So we're addressing those things. We're addressing them directly. And I need those areas to come up. But again, we'll train all the wide stance for a while. Okay, then we went over to my glute ham raises, which I now do through a full range of motion, which means I come all the way down into a hyperextension, and this makes them a lot harder. Makes them a lot harder. It forces me to get a little bit of extra back work, puts a little bit of stretch on the hamstring that I didn't use going up into the contraction, because it gets stretched and then we go into the contracted position on it. So this is a complete hamstring exercise. So if you want one exercise that completely works all the heads and function of the hamstring, this is it right here. And that is why I do it specifically. And it gives me a little bit of extra lower back work, although that's not my primary. The other three movements are for my low back. We have the RDLs, we have the way I'm doing those good mornings now, and then I have my reverse hypers, which are coming up. So on the reverse hypers, I went up another 5 pounds. It wasn't hard. I feel like I could jump the weight quicker, but here's what I'm going to do. I only recently started doing them really strict, and when I started with 180, it was brutally difficult strict. I'm trying to maintain that strictness, no swing, and I'm trying to squeeze at the top as hard as I can, right? And we can't really hold it there, but I can squeeze at the top instead of just letting it swing completely, maintaining control, not letting it swing far forward on the way down. So controlling the eccentric. I'm up to now 215. I could have done more today because I got like 12 reps on the last set, but I'm just going to keep going up 5 pounds. Going to keep going up 5 pounds and follow it with just that progressive overload and try to maintain that level of strictness, right? And it'll reach a point to where I won't be able to progress on it. And when that happens, it happens. It's fine. I'll just work with what I have, right? I'll work with what I have. But I feel like for now, I'm just going to keep progressively overloading this newer variation of it I'm doing, because even though I could increase it faster, I'm still up 35 pounds from where I started. And when I started, it was extremely difficult. I was struggling with it. So again, we're getting stronger at this movement. My lower back will continue to get stronger, which I feel like is a weak link in my squatting at the moment, and potentially for my conventional deadlift. And again, this stuff I'm doing here will still build the conventional deadlift, even though I'm pulling sumo at the moment. So everything carries over. All right, it was a great workout. Really happy with the way everything went today. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.